So we've been talking about it through most of this, our education segment for the day, NBA playoff, what that means for the hobby and prices. We can just continue the conversation. I don't know if there's that much more to talk about with it. Just that, when the spotlight's on and the national attention is there, right now, what I'd be looking at, is exactly how I found Barrett and Young. I'm looking at guys who are in the play, teams that are going to be in the playoffs, and guys that are having an impact whose card prices have not been shooting up. Those are the things that I'm looking for, and I want to sit on those cards for the playoffs, see how they play. More than likely, unless the guy completely shits the bed, you're not looking at a situation where you're going to lose your money. You should at least be able to break even. So NBA playoffs are definitely an opportunity to make some money.
Yeah, and I think so. What some of the basketball card veterans likely do too here is they're looking at all the youngsters that are on these up and coming teams. So you got a teams getting into the playoffs for the first time. They got some young guys on their squads. You get a chance maybe to see them in a limited fashion, but you get a chance to see how the team's playing, where their upside is, where they're headed. So that may help them educate and drive where they're headed with some of those players, knowing that a team's going to be good for a long time with some prospects buried on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. Playoffs going to get started here in what, 3 weeks? Probably sometime beginning of June, I think, is when
Yeah,
the.
Nick's got 4 games left,
Okay. So yeah,
including
so
tonight.
we're probably looking at in 2 weeks. We'll be looking at, and this year's different because there's the play-in games and whatever, so that'll take up some time. So yeah, I would have to say that the actual playoffs will start probably third or fourth week of May, which will be good. And then we'll see. We'll keep tabs on what we're talking about, and try to feature some other guys, as we go. And then I guess the biggest one that we didn't talk about is Luka. Mavericks are on the fringe of whether or not they're going to make the playoffs. His cards are way down. So if you're looking at potentially investing in Luka, if he comes in and plays in the playoffs like he did last year or 2 years ago, obviously you'll see a huge surge on Luka.